Here is a number that should offend you. In the systems most of the industry used to serve large language models, 60 to 80% of the GPU memory set aside for generation. The region on screen right now was measured to be pure waste, not the model weights. Those are packed tight. The waste lies in a structure most engineers using LLMs daily cannot even name, the KV cache, the working memory of generation. And the fix did not come from new hardware. It came from a 1960s operating systems idea, paging, and it multiplied serving throughput by up to 24 times. Same GPU, same model, 24 times more tokens out. Inference, it turns out, is a memory problem wearing a compute costume. So start with the honest question, what is this cache and why is it so big? Transformers generate one token at a time, and each new token is chosen by attention. The model compares the current position against every token that came before it. Mechanically, every previous token contributes two vectors to that comparison. A key, which is how the token is found, and a value, which is what it contributes once found. Here is the economic fact. Those key and value vectors do not change. The key and value for token 5 are identical whether you are generating token 6 or token 6000. Recomputing them for the entire history on every step would mean every token pays for all its predecessors. Quadratic waste for identical answers. So every serving stack does the obvious thing. Compute each token's keys and values once per layer and keep them resident in GPU memory for the life of the request. That resident state is the KV cache. It is the conversation's working memory, and it is why token 10,000 can still see token 1 without recomputing it. But notice what we just signed up for. The cache grows with every token generated for every request in flight across every layer of the model, and it cannot be evicted while the request lives. The obvious next question, how big does this thing actually get? The vLLM team's numbers for a model that is modest by today's standards. On Llama 13B, one single sequence can hold up to 1.7 gigabytes of KV cache. One conversation, 1.7 gigabytes. And unlike the weights, which are a fixed cost you pay once, the cache is different for every request, growing token by token as generation proceeds and vanishing the moment the request completes. Its final size is unknowable in advance because it depends on how long the answer turns out to be. Now put on the operator's hat. Your GPU has a fixed pool of memory. The weights take their fixed share. Every gigabyte left over is seats for concurrent requests. Serving throughput on GPUs comes overwhelmingly from batching. The hardware wants to serve many sequences in parallel. So the number of requests you can seat is the number that decides your cost per token, which means the KV cache, not the model, is what caps your throughput. The GPU's compute units are routinely idle, waiting while memory is the fully booked resource. Inference is memory bound, and this cache is the reason. So the game is clear, pack as many sequences into that leftover memory as possible. How hard can packing be? This is where the 60 to 80% figure comes from. Before vLLM, serving systems inherited an assumption from deep learning frameworks. A tensor lives in one contiguous block of memory. Applied to the KV cache, that means each request cache must be one unbroken region. And since the cache grows as generation proceeds and you cannot know the final length, the system reserves the maximum possible length upfront. Ask for a chatbot with a 2000 token limit, get a 2000 token reservation, even if this particular answer turns out to be 200 tokens and a period. The empty tail of that reservation is internal fragmentation, memory owned by a request that will never touch it, unusable by anyone else. Around those reservations grows external fragmentation, awkward gaps between differently sized blocks, each too small to seat a new request, collectively enormous. Add pre-buffering for slots that sit idle, and the vLLM team's measurement lands in existing systems. 60 to 80% of KV cache memory was lost to fragmentation and over-reservation. Two-thirds of the scarcest resource in AI infrastructure, spent on nothing, invisibly. The dashboards all said memory was full of reservations, not data. If this problem feels familiar, it should. Every operating system faced exactly this in the 1960s, when programs demanded contiguous physical memory. What did OS designers do about it? The operating system's answer was virtual memory. Stop promising programs contiguous physical addresses. Chop memory into fixed-size pages. Let a page table translate the neat addresses a program sees onto whichever physical frames happen to be free, and fragmentation collapses. PagedAttention, the core idea of vLLM, is that exact design applied inside the GPU. A sequence's KV cache is divided into fixed-size blocks, each holding the keys and values for a fixed number of tokens. The blocks that make up one sequence do not need to be neighbors. A block table per sequence maps logical block 1, 2, 3 onto physical blocks wherever they landed. And now nothing is reserved in advance. When a sequence grows into a new block, a physical block is allocated on demand. From anywhere when the request completes, its blocks return to the pool individually, leaving no awkward gaps. Every hole is exactly block sized, exactly what the next request needs. The only possible waste is the unused tail of each sequence's final block, and the measured result is waste under 4%, from 60 to 80 down to 4, with no new hardware and accounting change. But the block table turns out to be more than a defragmenter. Once the map and the memory are separate things, two sequences can share the same physical blocks. Why would you want that? Consider what products actually do. Parallel sampling: generate three candidate answers from one prompt and let the user pick. Beam search: keep several continuations alive, extending the best. In both, multiple sequences share an identical prefix, often a long one: the system prompt, the document, the conversation so far. Contiguous allocation had to duplicate that prefix's cache per branch. Three candidates, three full copies of identical gigabytes. With the block table sharing is free bookkeeping, all three candidates simply map their logical prefix blocks to the same physical blocks, stored once. The subtlety is divergence. The branches will eventually generate different tokens, and a shared block must not be scribbled on by one branch while others read it. vLLM borrows the operating system's answer again, copy on write. Shared blocks carry a reference count. When a branch wants to write into a block owned by more than one sequence, that single block is copied first and the branch writes to its private copy. Everything still shared stays shared. Measured effect: memory use in these sampling workloads drops by up to 55%, which converts into up to 2.2 times more throughput, a whole second GPU's worth of capacity, conjured from deleted duplicates. Elegant on a slide, but what did it add up to in production? The evidence slide from the vLLM team's own launch post. Head to head on the same hardware, vLLM delivered up to 24 times the throughput of Hugging Face transformers. The default stack half the industry started with, and 2.2 to 2.5 times the throughput of the strongest serving system of the day. Text generation, inference. Same weights, same GPUs. The difference is almost entirely that memory stopped being wasted, so batches got dramatically larger, so the compute units finally had enough work. The production story makes it concrete. LMSys, the Berkeley affiliated group running Chatbot Arena and the Vicuna demo, switched their serving backend to vLLM and cut the number of GPUs required for the same traffic in half, while absorbing 30,000 requests on an average day and 60,000 at peak, on an academic lab's budget. Half the fleet retired by an allocator. Sit with that. No model change, no quantization, no new silicon. The single highest leverage optimization in the deployment was how a cache's memory was laid out. vLLM went on to become one of the standard open source serving engines precisely because of this. And once you see inference through the memory lens, the rest of the modern serving stack suddenly makes sense too. What does the lens show? Look at the serving frontier through the memory lens, and every headline feature resolves into KV cache management. Prefix caching across requests, keeping a hot system prompts blocks resident so every request skips recomputing it, is the block table plus reference counts working across users. The long context arms race is a KV problem. At hundreds of thousands of tokens, the cache dwarfs the activations and rivals the weights themselves. Paging is what makes those contexts servable at all. And the architecture from our split brain lecture, disaggregating prefill and decode onto separate GPU pools, is at heart a decision about where KV cache is produced and where it is shipped. The cache is the cargo those systems are designed around. Now add agents, this year's traffic. An agent run is one enormous shared prefix. System prompt, tool definitions, accumulated context replayed across a loop of calls, plus branching explorations. That is the parallel sampling shape from slide 6, scaled up, maximal prefixes, maximal sharing opportunity, brutal punishment for any stack still duplicating cache per branch. The bottleneck of the AI era moved from floating point operations to gigabytes. Inference economics is memory economics now. So what should you actually do about it, whether or not you ever touch vLLM source? The portable checklist, 5 rules. 1. Profile memory before compute. vLLM's 24x did not come from faster math. It came from measuring where the gigabytes actually went. When a system underperforms, audit the allocator before the algorithm. 2. Never reserve for the maximum. Pre-allocating worst case anything, cache, buffers, connections, converts your uncertainty into guaranteed waste. Allocate on demand and let actual usage set the bill. 3. Page anything that grows unpredictably. Fixed size blocks behind a translation table turn fragmentation into arithmetic. It worked for operating systems in the 60s and it worked inside an H100. It will work on your log buffers too. 4. Share prefixes, copy on write. Identical data stored twice is a bug with a memory footprint. Reference count it, share it, and pay the copy only at the moment of divergence. 5. Batch until memory says stop. On modern accelerators, throughput is seats times occupancy. Every gigabyte you reclaim is seats, so treat memory efficiency as a direct multiplier on revenue, not a housekeeping virtue. 5 rules. 1 theme. The cheapest capacity you will ever buy is the memory you stop wasting. Let's land it. Landing it. The KV cache is the working memory of generation. Every token's keys and values computed once, parked on the GPU, so attention never recomputes the past. It grows with every token, differs for every request, and it, not the weights, decides how many requests your GPU can seat, which is why inference is memory bound. The old stack stored it contiguously, reserved for the worst case, and burned 60 to 80% of the scarcest memory in computing on nothing. PagedAttention stole virtual memory from the operating system's playbook, fixed size blocks, a block table per sequence, allocation on demand, and waste fell under 4%. Copy on write block sharing then cut sampling workloads by another 55. And the receipts followed, up to 24 times the throughput and a real fleet cut in half. The idea that travels beyond GPUs, when a resource is scarce, audit the allocator before you buy more of the resource. More scarcity is bookkeeping. If you want the next chapter of this exact story, our split brain lecture covers splitting prefill from decode, the KV cache as cargo between GPU pools. And Saturday, what happens when a transaction spans systems that cannot share a database, the saga pattern, and why you cannot roll back an email. Thanks for watching.